Not if we find it, he won't.
Well, you're not going to find it with a bloody stud finder, Bryce.
I know. It's for finding electrical wiring behind walls.
We don't even know what a bugging device looks like.
Well, we know it's small.
Small, huh? They didn't realise that.
And we know it's electrical.
Small and electrical, it's a lot to remember. This is small, but it's not electrical. Who's supposed to be bugging him anyway?
Not our concern. Got it.
I'm surprised putting your hands down there.
Shh. This is the culprit here.
I think I left the headlights on.
Work now as it is, without having to compete with a horde of Asians.
What exactly are you saying?
I don't mind Asians at all. I'm not a racist. I've been a member of the Uniting Church for several years, but they do lower the standard of living.
Oh, I think you'd have a job establishing that the Uniting Church lowers the standard of living, although you might like to argue that they do tend to spoil it a fair bit.
No, the boat people, Barry. Their ways are very different from ours. Different religions. Many of them don't believe in Christ, Barry. I know that for a fact.
Sure.
I've been to Samoa. They've got different eating habits.
Yes, well, I guess everyone has a right to an opinion, but personally, I think we should steer clear of this sort of asinine, xenophobic drivel.
Thank you, Barry.
Grief. Hello, you're on. I hope you're not worried about the Vietnamese. I don't think I could take another Asian horde this morning.
No, I just wanted to know if the name Angela Dibner meant anything to you.
I'm sorry, I have to speak up. There's a lot of background noise there.
I was just wondering, Mr. Dwyer, whether you remembered the name Angela Didman.
No, I don't. I speak to a lot of...
I'm surprised you don't. I would have thought the name Didman would have been hard for you to forget.
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave this call. Who the hell is this? Hello? Look, what do you want? Oh, that's crap. You can't prove any of that. What photos? Where'd you get them? How much? Where? When? Love, get me Adam Lynch, will you?
Sure.
If only you knew how petty you sounded, Pat. Petty and venal.
There is nothing petty about $2,000, Bryce. You also owe me a month's rent. And now I'm expected to pay for these repairs because you destroy a man's house.
Not completely.
What were you trying to do anyway?
Debug it.
You what?
Petty and venal, Pat.
Venal and petty.
You don't know the first thing about debugging a house.
We do now.
Hubris, Pat. Greed on a massive scale.
Venal hubris, Pat.
What possessed you?
Finality, Pat. Petty, hubristic finality.
25% interest to be paid back within 3 months, or I will repossess everything you own.
That's a lovely frock, incidentally, Pat. Any sign?
Pardon?
Have you seen him yet?
Are you talking to me, fella?
Have we made contact?
No. You must be getting fitty. You cut that last lap down to 6 minutes.
At least I look like a jogger in the park.
And I look like somebody having a cigarette in the park. Is that him?
Yeah, he should be wearing a tracksuit.
Unfortunately, I'm the only one in the park not wearing a tracksuit.
Despite my specific instructions.
My idea of a good time doesn't include jogging, especially not in a public lavatory in thermal underwear. The whole thing is very sus.
That's how perfectly you've off-board on the phone.
We used to use the small and electrical.
Where are the 31Cs? Anyone seen the 31Cs? Come on, somebody must have seen the 31Cs.
Which category?
Women and Community Liaison. Was subjugation of a J in it? No. Look, someone must have it. I saw it here on this desk last night. Please, everyone, did anyone here see Ken go anywhere near this desk last night? Please, think. Linda?
Yes, he did after you left.
Oh, God. Where is he now, do you know?
He said he and Bryce were going to the toilet.
I am talking big league here, guys. I'm talking absolute discretion. May we know the name of your client? Suffice it to say, my client is a well-respected member of the community.
We wouldn't know.
My client some years ago had a relationship with another party, which resulted in the illegitimate birth of a child to that party. My client had an extant relationship with a third party who had 2 other children.
What about the first party?
That's the child, you gumboot. No, my client is the first party.
Ah, of course she is.
It's a man, Bryce. He fathered children by the second party and the third party.
Did he? How do we know that?
Carry on. My uncle had a place like this.
My client struck an agreement with the second party that he would provide for the child if she agreed never to see or contact him.
Obviously.
Why?
Public image. It's a decision he now regrets. My client has since made monthly payments to a fourth party, name unknown, to support the child.
Now, listen very carefully, Ken. There's probably a child involved.
Think rationally, Pat. If you were Ken, where would you...
You all right?
Yeah, I just had a nasty thought.
My client has since become a very wealthy man and has become genuinely interested in the welfare of the child. He would like to locate the mother, but as part of the original agreement, she has changed her name and we have no idea of her address.
Any clues? They usually leave a trace, if you know how to look.
Why don't you follow the fourth party?
The fourth party?
The courier, the one that takes the money.
The money?
From my client to the first woman.
Naturally.
Pat, I found it. Oh, thank God. Prue's supposed to be here and he ticked to pick the wretched thing up.
Oh, how could he do this? Pat, it's on the processor. I might have time to knock another one off for you.
I'll kill him. I really will. I'm going to kill him.
Deliver the money to the pickup point and follow the man who picks it up. Get an address and then report back to me on this number.
We'll do it, Mr. Prufrock.
What do we get paid?
$1,500 now and $1,500 when you report back.
Carry on.
This envelope contains all the necessary instructions for the fourth party and the money. This envelope contains the first part of your fee. Please be discreet.
Well, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yes, no problems there. It's Bryce, isn't it?
Hello, you're on.
Am I on?
Yes, you are on.
Is it me? Is it me who's on, Barry?
Yes, it is. How would you like to turn down your radio so I can hear you?
Can do, Barry. Yeah, done that, Barry. Now, what I'm ringing about...
There you are, Pat. Here's 3/4 of your money. Sorry it took nearly a day, but there you are. You'll have the rest tomorrow.
Good. Where's Ken?
That.
Why did you wrap dog food up in something that it took 3 of us a day to finish?
Mr. 31C?
Yes, it is.
A woman called Prue rang to say they're scrapping the 31Cs. A few of the factions couldn't agree on it, so they're shelving it, apparently.
They don't need them.
No.
Well, why didn't you leave me a frigging note, Ken?
You obviously haven't listened to your answer phone. I told you on that. Oh, there's another good bit where Prue says she's coming round later on to pick up the 31Es and 31Ds, apparently.
I'd like a receipt for that money, thanks. Excuse me, this bin's reserved. Thank you. Sign yet?
Bit hard for people to get near it with you shooing everyone off.
Oh, crikey, why can't people leave the bloody thing alone? Start the car, Ken.
Come on, come on.
Start the car.
Been paying this woman for a long time and you put the money in a waste paper bin. Why not put it in a bank account with the woman's joint signature?
Possibly didn't think of it. Left can left, he's turning left.
Why a courier? Why doesn't the woman pick the money up herself?
Well, that preyed on my mind briefly. My guess is this guy is the new husband.
To lie of honour, obey and pick the monthly envelope out of the waste paper bin.
It's the only possible explanation.
Except blackmail. Why else would he be trying to get away from us?
He isn't.
He is.
The sound of this car is probably frightening the crap out of him. Can't he cycle any faster?
The diff's going to fall out if we don't get out of first gear soon.
He's pulling over. Watch it, don't hit him.
Now, your comments would annoy a lot of people while they were driving. Not me, of course. I've got too much respect for you. Not that I'd want you to talk any more than you did on the way here. Less, if anything.
Stay close to me. I've seen this before in movies. He's going to try something. Do exactly as I do.
I've got an auntie who lives in Broadmeadows. We could drop in on it.
Don't be stupid. We'll get off at the next station.
It's an express. We've got no money, and the car's in a no-standing area with the driver's window down, and a rego that ran out the year Shane Gould began to look like Olympic material.
Check it for identification, will you, Brendan? Oh, my God, the redoubtable Jack Blair. Constable, arrest this man on suspicion of impersonating a police officer.
G'day, Colin.
Don't you have enough jaywalking to keep you occupied?
Well, we heard you were in the area, so we thought we'd see how an expert handles things.
There's no experts here, Jack, especially now that you're here. How's Jean?
Short. Rita?
The fair Rita is with child.
Know what caused it?
There's been a murder here.
You know who hit him?
Not yet.
You know who he was?
No.
Moomba.
Moomba?
Suicide. This sort of thing happens in Rio de Janeiro round about festival time. People go mad.
We'll bear that in mind, Constable.
Parker. Come over here. Come on. You know, if we were standing out on that pier 20 years ago, we would have been able to see porpoises jumping up and out in the bay. Because that was before all the pollution came in. Now they get tied up in the oil slicks and the sewerage outfall.
Why would anyone want to pay you two $1,500 for a morning's work?
If it's any consolation, I don't think they will again.
Nonsense. I'll simply explain what happened. Tell them we'll find the woman by some other means. Really, I have absolutely no idea why I pay taxes. The fools claim the number isn't listed.
Perhaps it isn't.
Don't be silly. Why would someone hire us to trace information and then give us a number we can't reach him on?
Because he doesn't want you to reach him.
The man wants information. That's why he hired us. It's a straightforward business transaction.
Boys, you're under arrest. Hands to all you. Come on, get your legs apart.
You're under arrest for the murder of Peter Dittman. You're not obliged to say anything.
Well, that seemed to go pretty well.
Shut up!
But if you do say it may be taken down and given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yes. Pat, we were following the man.
Why?
To see where he went.
What for?
So the client could find this illegitimate child.
Prufrock has an illegitimate child.
The child's parents are the first party. And either the second party or the third party.
Pat, Prufrock is our client. He's a go-between. We didn't get to meet his client.
Do you know the name of his client?
Of course not. He's a public figure.
We don't even know Prufrock's name.
What sort of an idiot are you? Prufrock's name is Prufrock.
I think you're going to have to repeat a year here, Bryce.
Well, boys, you've done a very good job. I think you deserve to feel very proud of yourselves here.
Shut up, Pat.
Yeah, keep it down, Pat. There are people trying to sleep in here.
Look, to hell with toilet blocks and men in tracksuits. The fact of the matter is you murdered Peter Dittman.
We've never heard of him. I don't even know the man.
They don't post bail for $50,000 if you're innocent. Now, I just want you to sign this.
I'm not signing anything.
We didn't murder him.
We've got photographs, fingerprints, the murder weapon.
Photos.
Just shut up, Bryce. They got our photos and fingerprints when they brought us in here. And they got the murder weapon. Big deal.
Look, do yourselves a favour, boys. I'd hate there to be any accidents in here during the night. Well, why don't you sign this statement?
Who took the photos?
Shut up, Bryce. Just shut up. You haven't done anything.
Look, we've got witnesses. It's not a matter of proving guilt. But what we're doing here is trying to come to an arrangement. Now, maybe I could do manslaughter for you. But I've got to see some sort of cooperation on your part.
Who are these witnesses?
Just trying to help you, boys. Look, if this goes on much longer, it could get very, very nasty.
Geez, that'd be unusual.
Ken, who are these eyewitnesses?
These two are.
Is Inspector Blair in, please?
Could I help?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Is he in?
Well, I could get him. He said if anything important
Where is he?
Well, he's babysitting his daughter.
You didn't have anything to do with it, did you, Ken?
No, I've been saying that for the last 5 hours.
Well, we just got to make certain of these things. Covering for your mate, aren't you?
No, he didn't do it either.
Don't talk shit, son. One of you did it. We think it's him.
No, he didn't do it either. Neither of us did it. We didn't do it.
Look, if I get a statement from you saying it was him, you could be out of here in 5 minutes.
They've been set up, haven't they?
I don't know. Never murdered anyone before?
Who set them up?
I don't know.
Can you do anything?
Better give me some facts.
What happened?
Sinus condition. Air's damp in these places. Not much sunlight. Moss on that wall.
I think there's a certain inevitability about this, Pat. I know the bloke handling the investigation. He's all right. Just leave it with me.
Let me say something. I admire your loyalty to Ken, but it's no use covering for him. You can't fight facts. The evidence is conclusive.
Ken didn't do it.
Look, I got a statement here that says that he's guilty and that he acted alone. All it requires is your signature, and you could sleep in your own private little bed tonight. Well, in that case, I'm afraid it's you, Bryce. Ken didn't quite have your scruples. He was quite happy to sign a statement saying that you and you alone killed Peter Dittman.
Ken? He wouldn't do that. He'd follow me anywhere, Ken.
added to a door of the toilets.
They couldn't kill time. They get startled by earthworms.
How do you know them?
The only question we still have about the Excelsior Research Foundation is how they managed to feed themselves. Where'd you get that?
It's them.
Yeah, who took it?
Some amateur photographer. He was shooting the floral clock down in Gibbs Plaza and saw them behaving strangely.
Some amateur photographer? Just a little bit surprising there was a photographer standing by, isn't it?
The bad guys don't get all the breaks. Trust you're not trying to tell me how to run the show, Jack. Because if you were, I'd be under a professional obligation to tell you to piss off.
No, of course not.
Look, we got the murder weapon down at Forensic with their fingerprints all over it. We got witnesses who saw them following the victim. Look at it go. Look, I will double-check everything. If I find anything fishy, I'll get back to you.
They've been charged.
Good.
It may just be a little too perfect. These guys are not bright. Why would they blow away a small-time wound? A really top defense lawyer might smell a setup.
Well, I know them. It's up to us to provide them with a really top defense lawyer.
I can understand your concern, but let me tell you, if you take me on, you won't be paying my fees, and I think I can get you off.
Who will be paying our fees?
I can't say.
We've had our fair share of anonymous benefactors.
I can tell you that I'm being hired by the original client. He's very concerned about what's been happening.
Naturally, he's been a tower of strength through the whole business.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, Ken.
Everything with a mouth isn't a gift horse, Bryce.
You see, we suspect that the murdered man...
Peter Dittman.
Yes, was my client's former lover's boyfriend.
What lover?
2 dozen to muss down in Ipkins.
What?
Our client's former lover's boyfriend's lover.
Right.
Right. My client has reason to believe that this woman may have had something to do with the murder.
Your client is wise.
Such as?
Well, she may have murdered him.
Bryce and I agree with your client.
Has he told the police any of this?
He doesn't have any conclusive proof. And if she gets wind of it, she might try and kill him. It's the child he's worried about. For the child's safety, he must proceed with absolute caution.
How long is this going to take?
I don't think we have a problem. We should be planning a civil liberties case against the police. They've got nothing on you.
Oh, no. Only photos and 29 eyewitnesses.
They haven't.
Look, juries are okay in these things. You've been harassed. We haven't seen this alleged evidence, and it's not admissible anyway. And I agree. I don't think they've got it.
I've written up the theft report on Mrs. Felfy's sewing machine, sir. I sent a copy of Mrs. Felfy's statement over to Crimes in Central, and I've spoken directly to Mrs. Felfy's husband.
Mr. Felfy.
Oh, have you read this?
Look, I'll tell you what I want you to do. As discreetly as possible, get me a copy of the Dittman file. If anybody asks you why I want it, tell them Central's lost the originals.
The Dittman file?
Peter Dittman. The body they dragged out of the bay the other day.
Oh, right. You think he might have stolen Mrs. Felfy's sewing machine?
So, she walks in here, she offers to take the case and you agree.
It's the best offer we'd had at the time.
What did she look like?
I didn't notice.
Don't ask me, I hardly saw her.
Come on, you must have noticed something.
What's your point, Pat?
Just interested.
She was about 5'8".
A lot of that was legs.
Blonde hair, off the shoulder, sort of wavy.
Deep green eyes.
Good figure?
I don't know, did she, Ken?
Well, it depends what Pat means by a good figure, really.
And what's her name, this blonde vision?
Stella Pilcher. And she's a very fine lawyer.
What did you do, rub a lamp? Where does she come from? A very fine lawyer who doesn't want you to get off will make damn sure you don't get off. What does she want? Who does she work for? Who's paying the fiddler here?
That's all you seem to be doing lately. Look, I told you can't play golf today. I said I was coming home early and we were going to go out tonight, remember? And no, I don't care about your handicap. We were going to go out tonight.
Excuse me, does Stella Pilcher work here?
Yes.
Oh, good. She has a life and annuity policy with my company and I've got to try and get her to translate it into an endowment. Is she likely to bite my head off?
Thanks, love.
Yeah, Jack Blair's offside. What brings you to murders?
A traffic accident, sir.
What, here?
No, somewhere else.
She's only got a handful of clients. They're all important, of course, but wouldn't keep me busy.
What sort of clients?
Oh, I don't remember their names. She's got some politicians. One of them's got false teeth. She's got some big farmers. And she's got Barry Dwyer, of course.
The radio Barry Dwyer?
Yeah. What do you make of him?
Not much.
No. No, I don't think so, do you?
No.
Not since that business with the girl.
What girl?
That was terrible.
So there's nothing unusual in the file?
Nothing.
Nothing in the way the investigation was carried out?
Well, it's pretty straightforward, really. Ditman was a small-time pimp with a list of petty convictions. He was stabbed at approximately 8 p.m. The weapon's got their prints on it, and there's a number of eyewitnesses.
There has to be something else. Honeysett can't believe these guys killed Peter Ditman.
Well, there is another Ditman file, but it's not there.
Why would there be 2 files on it?
No, not him. It's a woman Ditman.
There's a Mrs. Ditman? Tell me more.
Don't know anymore. The file's not there.
Andrea. Angela Ditman. Right. I remember she was murdered years ago.
Yeah, right. Well, she was his sister. This bloke had a sister, Angela.
This is Angela Ditman's brother.
Yeah, well, her file's missing.
In an out-of-court settlement today, the publishers of Lusty Birds agreed to pay radio personality Barry Dwyer an undisclosed amount in damages after admitting they had fabricated a story.
Excuse me? Do you keep back copies of Lusty Birds in the library?
About 10 years ago, that's all I know.
Well, there's record of a file on Angela Ditman. I just can't find the actual file.
Well, would homicide have it? The brother's just been murdered.
There's no record of it having been marked out.
Where would it be?
It could be... I've absolutely no idea.
Hello, am I on?
Yes, you are. Would you mind turning down that radio in the background, please?
Hello, am I on?
Yes, go ahead.
Barry?
Yes, hello.
Yes, Barry. I wonder if you read that article in the paper the other day about the need for special lifts inside public buildings for the disabled.
No, what did it say? What's he playing at? Why a full meeting? It's bloody dangerous. I don't like calling plenary meetings, especially for a minor hiccup in the works.
Look, he's panicking. You know, we might as well just meet and resolve the wretched thing.
Well, what do the others think about it?
Hello, Barry? Barry?
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think anybody really understands what the handicapped have to endure. Except, of course, the handicapped. Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give the blow to Stephen Knight, the Minister for Sport and Recreation, see what he's got to say on the matter. Thank you for your call.
I'm trying to find out some details about an action that Barry Dwyer took against Lusty Birds about 8 years ago.
Very unsatisfactory business, that.
I know, out-of-court settlement.
Not for want of evidence, mind you.
What sort of evidence?
Oh, that prostitute Ditman coughed up heaps on tape. Plus, we got a few snaps. Not bad, some of them.
Do you still have any of this stuff?
No.
Where is it?
Good expression, that. Settled out of court. Doesn't really tell you who got what.
You're not saying that Barry Dwyer paid you?
20 grand.
But it says in here that you paid him.
I know. Cost him 20 grand to get us to say precisely that.
What about your reputation?
I am the editor of Lusty Birds, Rear View, and a whole lot of other quality journals, all showing women with their trousers off. I'm not the Guardian bloody newspaper. A lot of our income comes that way. Standard business practice. Listen, if you've got anything else on Dwyer, I'd love to know about it. He's a very valued customer.
What happened to the Ditman girl?
She got dead about 6 months later. I see her brother got knocked off the other day, too.
Everyone knows Colin, I think. Perhaps you'd like to outline the problem.
Well, I don't know how much you already know.
Tell us, Colin.
Well, Angela Ditman's brother, Peter Ditman, showed up and embarked on a course of blackmail. He's now dead. 2 men currently charged with his murder were unfortunately already known to the police.
All the better, surely.
Normally, yes.
They're morons. Where do we dig them up from?
Hopefully this new ID card will prevent this sort of thing.
Joe's idea. They pulled his house apart.
Well, in particular, these 2 men were already known to a Senior Detective Sergeant Jack Blair. Now, he's good. He's already asking difficult questions. It's only a matter of time before he realises that he's standing on the peak of a very big iceberg.
Can't we take him out?
Well, I don't think we can. If you start killing cops, you've got a Royal Commission on your hands.
Quite true.
I suggest we wind down operations. Release the two morons. They'll get Blair off our backs.
How long is all that going to take?
6 months?
Maybe more. We can't afford 6 months. Now, there's not going to be a Royal Commission if we kill the cop and present them with the murderer.
The two morons.
I don't want anything to do with this.
The two morons.
I think everyone here respects your feelings, Colin. Perhaps you should leave the meeting if you feel compromised.
Well, everyone happy with the two morons?
You realise, of course, they can never stand trial for the killing of a cop.
Don't worry about that. My people will look after their welfare.
Can't we get this over with? I've got an awards night to attend.
Who's paying the bail?
Why ask questions?
Inquiring mind, Bryce.
Your client is paying, and the trial is going to take some time to get to court.
You know, I'd like to thank this man one day, in person.
It's not every man who can get two people he's never met thrown into the slammer for a few days.
Oh, you better give us a couple of larkies, Hugh. Looks like it's been a long night. Thanks, mate.
Out of the way, Hugh! Keep your head down! Go upstairs. Call the police.
Walk back the way you came. A police officer.
I thought cops had to be 6 foot tall.
Oh, no, it's the size of their feet. Pat may have a point. We don't know anything about this woman.
We are now walking free.
Why are we walking free?
You've just got to learn to trust people, son. I mean, some people do have principles.
That car's following us.
Nonsense. It's probably just got engine trouble.
I'm going to prove a point. I'm going to run away very quickly. And you can stand here and talk about principles. And if I'm wrong, I get to lose my breath. And if you're wrong, I get to meet with parents. Stay out of it, you bloke. Special branch.
Hold it. They missed Blair. We can't hit this lot. Wait till they hit the cop.
I think we've lost them, Ken.
Yes, it's a setup. The whole bloody thing's a setup. Well, if they're still alive. Now, don't tell me on the phone. Listen, you know that all-night diner where Ken and Bryce got stuck in the freezer? Well, I'll meet you outside there in half an hour. And for Christ's sakes, make sure nobody's following you. What cop? How long's he been standing there?
Sir, if everything's all right, I might pop off now.
Hello? Oh, Christ, where the hell are you two? Where?
Yeah, thought we'd go for a cruise. Do a spot of fishing. What, Ken's uncle's got a bit of a boat.
Come on, will you? Has your uncle got linen on board?
Yes, he keeps it in a cupboard next to the spa in the video room. The nude women will show you in.
Where are they?
In Ken's uncle's boat.
Somebody tried to kill me about an hour ago.
Who?
I don't know what it's about, but I think it involves members of the force.
The police?
Not all of them. At least I don't think it's all of them.
Listen, do you know anything about a man called Barry Dwyer?
I've
talk about Ray?
Yeah, I think he's involved. He had a relationship with a woman called Angela Dittman.
How did you find that out?
In a literary quarterly called Lusty Birds. I also think he's the same man that hired Bryson King.
And they have recognised Dwyer?
They didn't meet him.
Jesus, what a mess. Where's this boat they're on?
Be careful, you just dropped squid down my shirt.
Well, move then. Terrific, now you've knocked the bloody light. Here, hand us that torch. Something's taken the bait. I told you there were fish down there. Could even be a shark or something.
A shark? What do you mean, a shark?
Extract an assurance that more information would be provided, but he still maintains grave reservations about the government's plan and the speed with which it's been drawn up. My view is very, very clear. I'm concerned we'll downgrade.
Pack your things, we're heading back.
What are you doing here?
I'm arresting you for currency irregularities and passing top-secret military plans to the Libyans. Come on.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, but I think we're in very big trouble.
Yeah, well, we know that, don't we?
You'll just have to trust me. You're going back to jail on those charges I outlined earlier, whatever they were.
I'm not going to wear this. You're trying to manipulate the system, and I refuse to be a pawn in someone else's game.
What about you, Ken? Would you like to live?
I admit it. I did it. I'm guilty. I did whatever it was.
Good. What are you catching?
Flathead, mainly.
I like to plead guilty as an accessory to whatever it was he did.
Where did they get to write this drivel? My 5-year-old could do better on his rhythm
There's
ace.
a Pat here to see you, Barry. She says it's urgent.
Oh, yeah? Well, send her in then. Well, what's so urgent, love?
I have reason to believe that you were involved in the killing of Peter Dittman. I believe that you hired a man called Adam Lynch to hire 2 men to take the blame. And I also believe that a policeman called Honeysett is...
Sorry about that, love. Could you just repeat what you said into that tape recorder?
I think that...
Oh, no, love. You have to speak louder than that, otherwise we'll never hear you.
Mr. Dwyer, do you know
No, hang on a
anything...
sec, love. That's not what you said. You made a statement. Now, would you just repeat the statement into the machine? Well, are you going to accuse me of murder or not? If you are, terrific. I can handle that. I get in touch with my solicitor.
Stella Pilcher.
Yeah, that's right, Stella Pilcher. Is there a problem there? And Stella and I, we sue you. I'm happy to do that. We do that all the time. Now, are you going to speak into the machine, or shall I get Stella in here as a witness, or, if you like, I'll give you some time on my radio program. Whatever you want. Piss off, Pat.
Okay. You can go through now, please.
How many Jacks? Sit down. Well, I've read the report. Are you sure about this, Jack? He's a good cop. You're 100% sure.
Detective Sergeant Honeysett was the officer in charge of both Dittman inquiries. Now, neither of them...
I read the report. Now, come on, sit down. Look, I appreciate how hard this is for you. Do you have any idea why?
I think he may be covering for a man called Barry Dwyer and a group of others, possibly even Force.
But can you prove it?
No. I need to know more about Honeysett before I can get to Dwyer and the others involved. Now, there's a file on Angela Dittman that's gone missing. I think there may be some clues in that.
Okay. Obviously, it's vital to keep this under your hat for a while. If Honeysett gets a whisper, we lose the whole thing. Does anyone else know about this? few people. Well, you better give me their names, Jack. It's for your own protection. By the sound of this, you've hit on a real hornet's nest. Get me the Angela Dittman file, will you?
It's still missing, sir. We can't find it.
Well, who's got it?
We don't know, sir. It's gone.
This is your fault, you know. Letting Blair treat us like a couple of kindergarten kids.
I'm a one-man band, Emma. You're not capable of taking a decision yourself.
We could be on the outside doing something.
Are you suffering from short-term memory loss? 10 hours ago we were on the outside, getting shot at, and you were being sick in my uncle's boat, telling me how you wished you'd told your mother that you loved her.
You know, it's hardly surprising they write so many books in prison. The smell, the fetid, dank air.
View from this cell's better than the last one.
Must be some reason we're paying so much for it.
Central city location, close to recreational facilities, bulletproof walls.
Well, who is this woman?
I've never seen her before. Yeah, well, she knows. Blair knows. How many others are in on it? I mean, we can't kill all of them.
There's only one person who directly links all of us with Dittman.
Sign of a struggle or anything?
Suicide. Apparently I'm having a lot of financial worries.
I'll be finished here soon, apparently, sir.
How's it going?
Well, they're ripping the place apart. Looks like a bomb hit it.
Found what they're looking for?
Nah, I don't think they will either, sir. Under the box. No, sir, under the box. Well, how have you been? Pretty well, thanks, sir. Not counting my feet, of course.
Come in, Jack. Have a seat. I know he was a friend of yours. You were right about Colin. He was on the take.
You were right about him too. He was good.
I think under the circumstances, this report you were doing on Colin's activities had better just be dropped.
Well, as it turns out, Colin wasn't the only one involved.
The problem is that the Angela Dittman file that contains a lot of this information has gone missing. Colin probably took it.
Yes, he did.
You realise, Jack, that a lot of the people mentioned in that file are well-respected members of the community.
Radio announcers and so on.
Yeah.
Lawyers, businessmen, top civil servants.
And a lot of them are innocent. There's no evidence against them.
Is that right?
I'm guessing. Obviously.
Obviously. There's nothing conclusive, but the names are there.
And if their names were likely to be made known, then of course they'd take whatever action they thought necessary to prevent that from happening.
Yes, well, the trouble is I've told rather a lot of people, and unfortunately copies of the file have been made and given to people, and Christ knows who they've told. Anyone important? No, no radio announcers, lawyers or businessmen, and only one top civil servant. Just enough people to be worried about any accidents. Like perhaps Collins.
Jack. I hear what you're saying. There won't be any accidents.
Or any hold-ups getting Rita a pension.
Of course not.
Well, that is good.
Pat, we've finished the 32Es. What do you want done with them?
Pat? Oh, I don't know, with the others, I guess.
Well, we came to that, all right. Something about danger, you know, raw danger. Really does sharpen up your senses and drag the best out of you. You can keep your head when those about you are losing their...
Did you turn the stove off on the boat, Bryce?
Oh, typical. There's more amusement coming your way at 10:50 tonight with Comedy Break, featuring American comedians Mac Dryden and Jamie All.